Now, this is again an important set of labels: episodic and sequential. Generally, these words are not that common to be used by everybody. So I'll just explain you this. But before that, I'll just check this static dynamic. So static and dynamic would mean as we see the environment, if the environment itself can evolve, okay, that would mean a dynamic environment. And static would mean as we are seeing the environment, it's not dynamically evolvable, it is fixed. Okay, then it is a static environment. So the agent who works in a dynamic environment need to be more proactive. Okay, it should more often see the inputs that it is receiving from the environment. It should have more interaction with the environment in terms of sensory inputs to be more appropriate, to be taking more appropriate action rather. Okay, so that is static dynamic. I'm taking that because it is easy to understand first. Next is discrete versus continuous. Again, we have some notion of word discrete and word continuous from statistic background that we have. Discrete means there is finite number of distinct values. Okay, and continuous means the values are continuously coming. So you don't have some value for a particular time instance. You are just a flow of values coming to you. Okay, these particular thing, discrete and continuous attributes, they are not just the attributes of the environment, but the interaction between the environment and the agent. Okay, so there are two interactions that we define. One is the interaction by the sensors and the interaction by the actuator. So the sensor से जो interaction होता है वो sense करना या perceive करना होता है, percept लेना होता है. So are the percepts discrete? Then we'll call them as discrete percept. The environment, the agent has discrete percept, then the environment is discrete as far as the sensing part is concerned. When the agent actions are discrete, that they can be काउंटेड फॉर के ये टाइम इंस्टेंट पे ये एक्शन होगा, उसके बाद ये दूसरा एक्शन होगा, उसके बाद ये तीसरा एक्शन होगा, then that would be a discretely acting agent. So the environment becomes environment state now becomes discretely changeable. Okay, that is how this discrete versus continuous can be understood. Okay, so we have seen what is static dynamic, we are what is seen discrete continuous. I have not talked about this yet. Okay, final thing is known versus unknown. Now if you have thought of or if you have remember one word from some other context which is referred to as in many machine learning algorithms, you come across this word. I'll just use that word, write that word first, and that word is called as, okay, should not have used this word because many of you might not know the word, but some of you might know this word at least. If you have some read some articles or something about machine learning. Okay, transfer learning in machine learning is something where when you train a model on one problem and use the model as it is for some problem which is different from the current on which the machine the model was trained. Okay, so I'll just give you an example. Say suppose I have a model to classify whether a student is intelligent or not, or rather a student will pass or not in a particular subject. So I may have certain way of analyzing the results of past years, okay, based on certain data set, and I have built a classifier that tells me given certain student characteristics or properties whether the student will pass in a particular subject or he will not pass in a particular subject. I might be interested in knowing this in advance because then I could take more efforts on such students which are probably not good at certain subjects, right? So now the question of transfer learning comes when I actually have this model created for say University of Mumbai based on the data of University of Mumbai students, and I take this model and want to use this model on a data of some other university. Okay, there might be different subject, there might be some changes in the data. I'll appropriately pre-process the data to match this model's inputs, but will that model now be able to apply in the new transferred domain? It may or may not. It all depends on how good the model is and how resilient the model is or how generalizable the model is. This process that I defined right now is called as transfer learning. So I've learned a model in a scenario situation using a training set or training data, and I'm using same model into different problem which is not connected or maybe connected but with a different set of domain values. Okay, so that is transfer learning. So many a times in transfer learning, it happens that you have a good model that works for one. Say we are doing natural language processing, we have built a model for identifying certain certain what do you say, certain feelings of speakers in English through the processing of text in English. A lot of text in the in English we have processed, and through that text we have learned a model how to predict from a given sentence whether the impression of that person is sad, happy, or what kind, or any other kind. So suppose only sad and happy. So two sense of emotions that we are predicting based on the text that a person is using to communicate. Okay, doing using natural language processing we are doing this, and we have trained our model on English. Now when I actually apply this model to some other language, like say French or German or Hindi or Chinese, that would mean I'm applying it to an unknown environment. From a known environment, I'm taking it to an unknown environment. And that is what is this difference between known and unknown is. So transfer learning, when you are applying, you are generally trying to take the agent, the model is your agent, into an unknown environment and try to find out, can the model learn or can the model master the new language? Okay, so the thought process behind transfer learning is that the model is already learned, and all the human languages, they must have certain commonalities in them, although they are distinctive in their physical appearance, the way they are organized in terms of the grammar and other things, but all are encoding same information somehow. So there will be certain commonalities and we can take advantage of it, so that the model that required say 30 hours of training in maybe English, then when it is applied to some other language, the training time will considerably reduce, and you can have that model trained within say seconds or within say minutes, because it is already tuned to one language. It could be easily tuned to some other. It is like tuning your transistor to new station from one station. It is like that. So I'll just give you an example of transfer learning. Very exciting field machine learning is, and AI is, but we just are not yet there to understand all those aspects right now. So known versus unknown. This is the example.